My name is Andrei Sitov. I'm with TASS, the Russian news agency. A couple of things. In the context of Anger or any other context, do you expect any high-level contacts with the Russians, American Russians, in the next few weeks? Then on Ukraine, obviously the most important thing, what are you doing? What are you prepared to do to strengthen the ceasefire? And lastly, you did mention the most important issue for you, the ISIL and the Syrian front in this struggle. In terms of aggression, how does it square with international norms? Bombing in Syria. I assume you will not be using direct permission or invitation from the government. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let me start with question number one, but remind me if I forget one of your questions. We don't have a full schedule for the Secretary yet at the General Assembly. Obviously, he's chairing this session on Friday of the Security Council. I don't know who will be there from Russia representing them. I can imagine that there will be conversations. I just don't have a full schedule for you yet, but I would expect certainly in some way there will be. Secondly, on the ceasefire? Yes. So it is increasingly strained, although we believe there's a path forward here where it can hold and indeed we can have some de-escalation. There has been a recent surge in separatist attacks against Ukrainian positions around Donetsk over the weekend, particularly the assaults on Donetsk airport. Also, some OSCE monitors came under attack, came under fire and sustained serious damage to their vehicles. So again, it's coming under increased strain here, but we believe there's a path forward. And what we said very clearly on Friday, I think it was Friday, when we announced additional sanctions, was that if Russia fully implemented the September 5th Minsk agreement, fully implemented that, there would be a path forward here, just with the latest round of sanctions, to pull those back. So what we need to see now is the September 5th Minsk agreement and all 12 steps contained in that ceasefire to be implemented. We've seen repeated violations of it by the separatists, and we need to see that changed.
So the logic is you first impose the sanctions, but then if the ceasefire holds, you withdraw the sanctions.
Well, no, the sanctions were in response to specific Russian actions that they had taken in Ukraine. Again, we've been very clear that if there's additional escalatory action in Ukraine, we will impose additional sanctions. We need to see de-escalation here. There's a path forward, but again, the ceasefire was increasingly strained over the weekend, and we need to see everybody take a step back from the brink here and move forward in a different path. And then the third question was... Oh, yes. Sorry, how could I forget? The president's been clear that when there are terrorist groups that threaten the United States or Americans, as ISIL has, as we've seen, grotesquely and brutally, and now with the United Kingdom as well, with those murders, that he has a responsibility as commander-in-chief, one that is enshrined both in the Constitution and in international law, to take steps to protect Americans. We believe the Assad regime has lost all legitimacy. We will not be coordinating with them. And we have the ability to take steps to protect Americans. I'm not going to outline what those steps might look like or get ahead of a process here, but he certainly made that clear a number of times. Thank you.